GDK game recently on YouTube here for probably about, it's been up there a couple months, maybe close to a year now. I started some original scenes here. I can probably show you some screenshots of those here. Actually, give me just a minute here to see which one of these. I guess I'll just have to go to the site. I don't know, it's not showing up here, but yeah, it's the Dark GDK dungeon, and one of the newer ones that's up there on YouTube right now. So I'm pulling it up here right now. Excuse me on this. My computer is just running horribly slow. It's just so pathetic today. Like, don't you ever just want to like take an axe and just slice your computer when it's doing stuff like that? Okay, so it says to sign in here. Okay, so I'm already in my video manager here. And it's this one right here and this one. Kind of these are the three new ones, the updates to it and everything. I'm going to show you how I actually designed this. I'm going to stop this because it's going to play the music. But this is, actually I could probably just mute this and show you there. This is the actual game I'm talking about that I have on there. I've implemented some of the water effects recently. That was one of my biggest accomplishments. That was actually done through what's called the Evolved engine. And if you ever seen the Evolved videos, man, they're awesome. This guy's pretty good at, he's pretty good at detailing everything and animation, and I've just seen a lot of cool things. And he's got the water, for example. It's pretty hard to get it in here, but eventually I was able to figure out how to get it embedded and working in the game. I kept having a lot of freaking conflicts with it and everything, and half the time it wouldn't even show up. Like, I put it in there and I go to play the game and it's not there. I'm like, where is it? You know. So it's kind of stuck it in the earliest parts of the dungeon here. You can see him basically in the game. He just moves through it and everything. I was going to run the game and show it to you, and I'll probably try to do that later, but for some reason with Camtasia Studio, when I'm running like videos, when I'm running like the game software, it is running pathetically slow. So, but this is the one I've been talking about. You've already seen this, and this is the code back here. Maybe I'll be able to just have this running over here and kind of keep you entertained with that too at the side for a minute. 1 second here. Okay, so now you can see that, and you can also see over here the code for the actual game and everything here. Let me just shrink this down a little bit more. Okay, so what you're looking at right now, this is probably the easiest way to explain it. You see him walking through this map right now, where he's at, and this is the actual map he's walking through. So right now, as you see, he's walking, basically I'm at the back part of the dungeon here. So basically I'm down in here somewhere. This area right here, and these actually represent different parts in the game. This actually represents that monster you just saw earlier. It was actually the Microsoft character. Let me see if I can get it back here. I froze it up in the game at this part so that I could do other things right there. You see the Microsoft character is actually represented here by this little character, and I'll show you how that works here. Give me 1 second here. Okay, here we go. Right here, so you see where it says case, and it shows that character, the same one I just showed you. This is basically taking this and it's sticking this character in, which is tiny. I might be able to even show you a little bit further here if I pull this up in a direct image file here and show you exactly how this works. I think this is, you know, pictures are worth 1,000 words and everything. It's really important when people can see step by step, and somebody just, you know, rambling off all the time. Rambling can only go so far. You can only follow so much logic, as some people said. If you're not technical, it can be kind of like way over somebody's head here. So let's go ahead and pull up what it is. It's actually a DirectX object. It's called looking for it here, tiny. Well, let me see where I stuck it in the folder here. Oh, it's in the enemies folder here. I thought it was in this one, so I got another folder called enemies back here. So it's right here. I kind of stuck them all together. Originally I had them in the other folder, that's why I was looking there. So let's see, right here. So if you watch this when I pull it up, see? It's the same character you're seeing over there in the game. Of course this one's frozen and she's just faced in a rotational different direction. It's just basically the starting position. And you can kind of move this person around and stuff like that. This is actually known as a DirectX viewer. I think this just comes with the DirectX software, so if you download DirectX, you'll be able to see it. But that's basically how the character interacts, and then you can actually embed that in your game, and you set up the animation and stuff. This basically here, this is just rotating the object, so this is actually showing the starting position, which is 180 degrees in a negative direction, actually. Excuse me. Okay, and actually, this is some other things you can do. You can kind of pivot the object, which is kind of the orient in different ways here. You can scale the object, which means you're going to basically be able to size it up and kind of change the size and everything of it. If you don't scale some objects, I notice that they're very, very small and they're hard to, like when you go to spawn in the game, you don't even see them. So, and this is actually setting up the object if you want to be able to move it up in a position. I had to move this one up because basically, because it's so tall, it got squashed in the ground, so I kind of moved it up a little bit. Basically 170 spaces there, as you can see. And this is actually a variable that's actually written by the original game creators when they designed this Dark GDK software. And it basically this keeps track of the baddie. They call it the baddie. It's like the bad guy or whatever. It keeps track of statistics such as their firing, the type, mode, and a lot of this stuff I haven't really used in the game. But this is for different kind of things you can do with the software and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, by the way. I mean, it took a little bit of learning. I mean, because first, the thing is, their maze. I might be able to pull up theirs here. I might even already have it. Here we go. Actually, this is perfect. I think I already have it right here. Oh no, actually, this is the water software. Okay, well, let me get a minute to pull that one up too, because I really want to kind of be real intuitive and show you how this kind of all works and how the comparison went on when I was originally trying to design this. And kind of like this is good too, because if you go to download the software, if you did Dark GDK, it'll come with this Dark Dungeons. A lot of people always ask me, where's that at? Where's that at? I'm like, well, it's in there. It's in the software. You can actually get it over here in the start menu too, but I'm just going to pull it up over here. Just go to the game creators and Dark Basic Professional. Actually, it's Dark Basic Professional. I'd forgotten about that. Projects. Yeah, because this is a Dark GDK, but no, because it's a Dark GDK, so I'm not in the right software here. Hold on. Dark GDK, here we go. Okay, so this is the samples, tutorials. It's right in here. These are just some of the samples that come with their software. And trying to see if it's even in here. If I click on this, let me go over here and show you what I meant by in the start menu. Hopefully you can see this over here. This is just where I have it installed on the computer here. Game creators, Dark GDK, samples, and then you pull up something called the sample browser. When you pull up the sample browser, it's the first one right here. So I really modified this one. See, Dark Dungeon FPS. And if you run this, hopefully this will show up here. This is kind of what it looks like when it gets ran. This will take probably a few seconds for this one to run. That's pretty quick, actually. Okay. So you go click fire like that, and this is basically, it's kind of irritating because people are chasing you all over the place. I had to turn this thing down, it's so loud. As you can see, it's kind of similar to the maze I set up, only this one is a little bit smaller. It's kind of limited in size and everything. These people just horde chase you down. So I'm gonna die here in a minute, I know. But anyways, I'm gonna stop that. That's what it is. I've modeled it after that, and I added my own graphics and everything. But I used the engine to do it. So let me see if I can even. I'm going to skip over the part where I was going to show it to you, but there's this code is very similar, except they just have a smaller map on theirs and everything. But that's basically what it is. If you go here at the top, you'll see the game creators created this, the Dark GDK. Well, I think I might took it out, but it's a Dark GDK dungeon. And this is just some of the setup. When you go to create a Dark GDK software, you're going to have all your image files. If somebody has ever explained this on YouTube before. Your image files, as you've seen earlier, they basically, I didn't really show you the image file, that's different than the object loading here. So the image files will be right here. Actually, I still got the wrong one up here. Let me go to the other one here. Enemies right here. So it's in media. So these are all the image files right here. You see this is a little wall if you click on it. I see, like it defaulted to my GIMP software. Usually it loads right up in Microsoft, but apparently my GIMP seems to pick it right up. GIMP's kind of a cool tool too, because you can actually go in and you can edit the graphics and stuff like that. So that's kind of like, if you look at that picture right there, and let's see if I can find it. I think it's just right here. If you look at this wall right there, that's that same picture. So basically I'm embedding that in the game here. And let's see, this is called the ancient wall. Probably find it right in here. There it is. Just saw it right here. Ancient wall. That's it right there. So that basically is loading in that object. And here's one thing, whenever you're doing your objects, if you look at this, these numbers here, I might be able to hold this over and you can see this hopefully. This shows you the ID number is the first parameter on it, and then after that is the texture flag, and then well, it goes into other stuff like divide texture size and stuff like that. But basically what this is doing, it's showing you this is the ID number to recognize this object. It's object 21. Notice that these are all numbered. So I got 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. And then whenever you want to initialize an object in a game, you just use that object. And let me show you an example of that. I'll probably go back down here. Position object. Let's see. It's the one for position object. Actually, right here we go. It's a move object. So if you look at this one, it shows the ID. This is the floating step. This one isn't actually it. This one might be it because it's a number. Let's say scale object. Yeah, this is showing the ID. So right here, this is scaling object 25. So this is scaling a gate I have in the game. Basically, I created a gate farther out in the game here. I could probably show you in this one here. Right here in the background, this gate here. That's just this gate right there in the game. Basically, it's just adding in. So what this whole thing is doing here, and this isn't going to be a real step-by-step tutorial. This is going to be kind of just an introduction to this later. Maybe I'll put up some more videos. But it's basically building all these maps, and it's going through and looking through a huge selection of case statements down here. You can see them all down in here. Plus, you see S down here. K, all these different case statements, and this is very similar to the dark GDK, the dark dungeon software that you saw me playing with earlier. And you set up these numbers to recognize what's back up here in this maze. So basically, everything in here is pointing as an object that you can use in a game. And when you're building this maze and you're walking through it, you're going to actually set up collisions directly with each of these. So every time you're on this spot, you're going to be a collision with that. And this is actually a pillar in the game. Let me see if I can show you a pillar here. So it's basically one of those walls. I'm trying to find this sometimes. It's fun. Let's see. I know I have walked back here and I walked through one here somewhere. Let's see. It's at the beginning right there. There's a pillar in the game right there. So these zeros are the pillars in the game that you're seeing and everything. So, and then the zeros here. These zeros are walls. And these ones are walls and these twos are walls. These are just different types of walls. Like notice this wall's different than this one. This wall's different than this one. And if you go up here later, this wall's different than this one. So these are all different kinds of walls in the game. And something I've done pretty cool, I thought this was pretty cool, is I wanted to show you the zero character, what that actually does here. Because if you go down here, it's all the way toward the very end here. So I got to look up first of all, I'm looking for case 0. There's the pillar. Remember I told you earlier? There's the pillar. Case 0, I have the numbers in order, so here it is, wall block. Here we go. So case 0 is setting up the wall. It's setting up the position of the wall. This actually positions the object. Texture, this is just basically putting on the picture of it. Otherwise, if you just first spawn an object, it's not going to have any graphics to it. And this is just keep track of the object count. Down here, I'm looking for my counter here. I don't know if I removed it here. Let's see. You can probably use this one. I'm looking for the add floor, and I want to explain to you what this does. Maybe it's down here somewhere. Let's see. Because that's wall 0, I know. I could use this as an example though, but you see where it says add floor. This is showing actually, yeah, let's just do this one. This is showing case this character on your keyboard. See how it looks there? And this is drawing, this says doorway, but this isn't actually a doorway. This is actually the higher ceiling in the game. So if you go back here, you see this, how this goes way up. I try to get this thing positioned right where I want it sometimes. See how these walls are going all the way up? I basically stacked objects, but I made it recognize which object am I using to stack the objects. So see, at this point, we've got the character in the game, and here's how it works. When you go down here at the bottom, you see this that says add floor equals 3. Remember that add floor equals 3? I'll show you when you go down here. This is where I set up my add floors. And this is actually also by the GDK software. I just went and go ahead and I changed and added some additions to it. This is basically layering the objects. So this is basically taking the floor up to 1400. Well, not to 1400 feet, but it's basically tracking it up 1400, I believe it's pixels in the game. And it's drawing the object straight up. Actually, this isn't the one. I think, you know what, that was for an outside wall. I know one of these in here, I stacked them up with an if statement or something here. But that's basically what it does. Originally, I had stacked them all up in a row like this. You see how these are all together here? I just had stuck them all together. Later, I stuck them in an if statement, which, I mean, in a for loop. I said an if statement, a for loop. So, had to do a search for that. I don't know why I'm not finding this stuff today. Doesn't help when my computer's running so slow. Great. Okay, so I'm just going to look up the for statement here. A for is basically allows it to go through the loop. Right there, see it says for x loop. For x loop. This right here, by the way, this is drawing the whole maze. From 0 all the way until you get to the end. Oh, actually, this is the update doors. This isn't the place I wanted to show you. Yeah, I skipped it out down here. I'm just going to go back here because I know it's in here. What I was trying to tell you earlier is this for loop right here. This is the one that's actually drawing the maze. It draws a 50 by 59. So this is a, oops. This is 50 down. See, it goes up to 0. Less than 50, so basically it's going to 49, 0 to 49, and this is 59 over. That's how it draws the maze. Now let's see if I can find this for loop I've been wanting to do here. Oh my gosh, stop running so slow on me. It's going to pick up everything. Oh, I just saw it. Let's try that one more time. It was like the third one down. Excuse me on this video, I didn't know I was going to go through and do all this, but I wanted to show people who've been playing the game, excuse me, watching the videos and seeing everything. Here we go. It's right here, basically. So this is drawing all the objects in a row, and this is actually stacking them by something I call wall level. So it's stacking 13 up. So basically, it's taking it all the way from 0 to 13. And what this is actually doing, this is, might throw you, but this is actually with something known as an array. So if you remember that wall level, I'll show you how this works. This is how arrays do. I'm basically going through each of these and I'm stacking them up in position. So this is at position 150, 250, 350, all the way up to 1350, which means these walls are going all the way up. And I got them going pretty high. I made this like a giant castle right here. If you ever go and outside the outside of this and observed it from the outside, right there. It's at an angle, but it goes really high in the game. That's how basically how I did that. Like I said, this is just going to kind of be like a tip section. Later I'll probably have to go through and walk you through step by step. Keep this a little bit more organized and everything. Some of the other things you've seen in my videos too is like where he goes up and down on the platform. I'll show you where I did that. This is called elevate platform. And this actually allows him throughout in the game here. So this is checking for the key, which I believe is the page up key. I set the page up and page down, which is kind of makes sense logically, up and down. So page goes up, And this is the elevate platform, so he's basically rising up in the game, and I could show you another video if you want to see what I'm talking about on that one. Let me jump back over here. I gotta do this better. I think I'm gonna just start pulling up the YouTube and kind of comparing it side by side. Most people try to run the game and it takes forever, so I think that this would be a little bit better if I can show you side by side here, so you can get a kind of a feel for what's going on here. So let me scan down to the one I'm talking about here. It's one of the earliest ones I did. Actually, it's this one right. It's actually one or two of these. This one might be on it too. Let me just look at this one. So this one shows. I'm pretty sure this is the one. Yeah, there he's going up and down. So you see him going up and down on the platform right there. This is what this is doing right here. This is allowing him to go up here. What this is doing, to kind of show you this thing, I'm going to stop this for a second here. Okay, so this right here is actually looking at that maze we set up earlier. Remember the CZ level? Go down here. And this is actually building the array. So this is basically taking all of these up here, and these are saying CZ level, and it's trying to see where you're at and what character are you at in the game. So if you look here, there's a little dash or something right here. The dash represents, I'll go down here and show you, right when I first get on it, right here. It represents a little platform in the game. So this dash is basically saying when I'm on the dash, let's go ahead and elevate our character. Let me get back up there again here. So you see the little dash right there? So that basically means I'm on the platform, so do something. So now that we know that we're on the platform, this is also checking, this is a second platform I have to actually go up to a second level, which is a new addition I was adding to the newer game, but I haven't showed it in any of my videos yet, because it's not complete. And this is setting gravity on when he's going up. This is actually telling you the upper level, how high will he be going. In this example, I only have it set up for the second level. Normally this would go all the way up to 1300. I think it was 1350 or whatever you saw earlier. When you saw how high the walls were building up, they go up to 1350 stacked. And this is showing how high he would go. So if I change that to 1350, actually here it is 1250. So I do have it set up here, excuse me. So this one's for the second level, and this one is for this level, the big boss room. So it goes up to 1250 when he's on the platform. And this right here keeps track of to make sure he hasn't gone beyond the top level. Because if you go beyond the top level, you're going to go right through the ceiling, right? So you had to stop him once he gets up there. This is camera positioning. People have asked me how did I move the object. Technically, I didn't even move the object. All it is, I actually moved the camera in the game, which is exactly how the software is done. You basically angle it, and then you basically track it with rotation here and position the camera. So basically the main things you need is you need these three. You need the angle X, angle Y for the camera. And this is actually for the up and down. So when you're on the platform, if you're looking left and right, this takes care of your left movement. This takes care up and down. So wherever you're moving that character at and what direction you're moving your person in. And this is basically keeping track of those ranges so you don't go over $180 degrees. If you do, you're going to flip back to 80. That way you won't look like if you look to the right, you'd be doing a complete circle. So this will stop you. Like if you go to look to the right, you're not going to go turn all the way around. So this is going to kind of stop that. And this example, let me make sure I'm using the right one for the right one. This is the X and this is the Y. Yeah, this one's the up and down. So this tells if you're looking down, don't go beyond 270 because you're already, or don't go greater than 180 because you're already looking at the floor. Otherwise, if you look down, you're going to be doing a somersault. If you have your character looking down and you keep going down and it keeps moving down, he's going to flip all the way over. So you have to stop him somewhere in position while he's moving. And that's how the camera position kind of works there. To kind of give you a glimpse into that, or a view. I'll show you the other one I have here, which is, there's the gravity routine. The gravity is kind of similar. You just what I did in this game is I actually checked to see which object am I on. Am I on this object, or whatever. If I am, then fall off of it. If I go away from it, there's still some kind of flaws in that logic. But here's the lower platform I was just telling you about. This works very similar to the elevated platform. I mean, just again, it's looking for a key. It's checking the maze and seeing which, this again is this room, and this is my newer addition that's coming for the second room. Allows you to go to the second floor. And this is kind of the same thing. This one's different. If you're going down, you want to make sure he's not going less than 50. Otherwise, you're going to go under the ground. So, it's the same thing as the platform here. I don't know if I have a video where he goes back down here, but let me see. I think I just kind of stayed up on the wall at that point. Yeah, never shot a video where he's coming back down actually, but you can go up and down it. Okay, and then that's kind of how that works. The same thing with the camera positioning. This raised platform just tells you it's moving down. And this, notice this is set right directly inside the camera position, because this is how you move the camera up and down. Is you have to change the variable. This is an incrementer, which means it's moving up and down basically. I know this video is going to seem real technical for people. People will be asking me, "What are you talking about?" But I just wanted to give you a glimpse into, you know, some of the stuff I'm doing with this. It wasn't easy. It took a while to really put this out. Working on a flashlight right now, but I don't have it in the game yet. Something's wrong with the positioning of the light. It doesn't show up. I've got one where I can go in, I can change the lights, and I can reflect different positioning on the light. Kind of show you here. If you look at this, when he first walks in here, you'll see how this is darker, and you can't see it, but this is lighter over here. This is lighter, and then on this side it's darker. That's just changing the light spectrum, basically. All built into the software again. It's so cool. Let me see what else I have in here. This is the weapon. You might have seen the weapon a couple times where I've changed it. This swaps out. These are just the names of the weapon. And this shows which object you're hiding. If you show one other object, you want to turn it off so you're not showing 2 or 3 different objects at the same time. And let's see what else is in here. I try to go slow. I know people get so mad when you go so quick through stuff and they're trying to look at it. Here's a collision I have. I don't know if I have this one set directly up. I had it positioning, checking for the when he touches the pillar. That's what the O is. Looks like a pillar. So remember the pillars what I showed you. Those are those long right here. That's a pillar right there. Okay, so I don't know why I had that one in there for something. Check collision or pillar. I was doing some playing with it or something one time. I didn't really use that in the game. This is a long one here, but this is actually, I modified this a lot, but this is originally by the Dark GDK software for the Dark Dungeon. This is keeping track of the enemies when they're moving. In this video, I think I have them, let me see if they're moving in this one. They might be moving in this one. Sometimes I turn them off and turn them on. Let's see. Yeah, they're moving. So you see the enemy's moving right there. He's already stuck in the ground. Don't ask me to fix that. That's just a nightmare trying to fix that. But this is basically keeping track of the whole movement of the player. Like I said, this one's going to look very technical because this one's got a lot of stuff in it. These are keeping track of different strategy moves that the player is making. Excuse me, the bad guy's trying to do and stuff like that. Is he like firing? Is he standing idle? And I added one of my own in here where he basically he's straddling. So he'll basically go in a circle around you instead of just running directly into your position. Like a lot of you might see a lot of people videos where they're shooting a bad guy and he runs directly up at them and they just blow him away. This one I have him straddling around you, so he's a little bit harder to hit because he's running away. He's kind of doing a circle around you while he's attacking you. So, and I think this is the strategy software. I'm trying to see if this is the, yeah, right here it is. DB wraparound. This is the one I set for his angle. So he's basically wrapping around an object. So when he hits like a pole or something, he'll wrap around it. Or she'll wrap around it. Excuse me, I said he'll. And we got the she in the game. This is an interesting one. This keeps track of where the enemy's at regarding your distance in perspective to your player. Open this up a little bit here. Oops. Here's the whole thing there. That's kind of long. But it keeps track of the enemy's position, their distance, to calculate the distance. And this is keeping track of distance to, I think this one might be my position or something. Well, this enemy, this one's probably me right there. There's 2 of them there. Distance is really important too, because you'll notice in this game when an enemy is approaching you. Let me see if I can find one here. I have to pick up another video. I don't know if I've ever actually got one that shows it. Let's see if I can go find another video. I don't know if it's in this one. Might be in this one right here. Let's try this one. The enemy's kind of in the background there. Okay, here we go. This is a good one. So there's like, these guys are chasing after you in the game here. You see them, how they're coming after you? And that's what this is basically doing. It's determining their distance to you. And when they get really close, they start attacking. If not, this means that they're still away from you. So if it's less than distance 2, this means that they're not near you yet, but they're getting closer. And as soon as they get closer to you, it moves into the attack software down here. Kind of a long walker CSS / attack here. And that's where they just start attacking you. Eventually they would shoot bullets at you, as you saw in the original video, but I removed all that. I might have to go ahead and cut this off. I don't know. These videos are limited. I do have a half hour for videos, but I wasn't watching my time here. I think I'll probably cut it off there to kind of give you a general idea. Let me see if there's anything else I could throw in here. Turn to face. This thing's going to take a long time to really explain it and really what goes down, but there's a lot of cool stuff it does in the game. I think this is the get gun waggle. So when you ever see the player walking, let me show you. And he's standing right there. So you see when I'm walking, it's going up and down there. That's called the waggle. So the waggle is happening right here. This is actually calculating the floating point from 5 to 25 floating point, which makes it move up and down basically in the game. Let me go back up here real quick and see if there's anything else. This is kind of the initialization setup. These are different skyboxes. I have it so I can swap out any skyboxes I want when I'm like basically testing them. I think I pretty much covered the general part. This is jumping up and down. I didn't really modify this. I didn't really improve this much in the game, but I have him where he can jump up and down this so quickly. It's not very effective in the game. And this one is when I was showing you early gravity. So if he's off an object, like I said, he'll fall off the object or whatever, based on whichever object you're on. You're on the platform, and if you're greater than this or whatever, then your height's going to be this. So you don't want to make sure that he goes through the ceiling. So if I'm jumping up, I'm not going to go through the ceiling. This raise minus equals minus. This means that I walked off the platform somewhere, right here, and he's going to fall. That means going down. So this is because this is tied directly to the camera, so he's going to fall, and the camera's going to follow him all the way down to the ground. And I think that's pretty much it for this part. I don't think I see anything else in here I could really go over. I've given you a pretty heavy dose of what's going on here and everything, so you've seen kind of a perspective of what's going on. So you've got to look at this software or this program that is by the game creators. You can kind of read through it a little bit, and later, like I said, later in the later videos, I'll take it apart more and show you exactly what's going on. But there's it's pretty involved. But I gave you some of the general stuff that is going on with the software and some of the stuff that I've added myself. This FPS is just basically producing your displays up here and everything. So yeah, I think that's about it. I think I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Oh, finally, I almost forgot to mention, this is the water I have in the game. This is actually the water routine, which is done by Evolved here. Let me pull over to another video here. I hope I'm not going to go over it because they're going to delete. Basically, if you go over videos, it's just basically going to truncate your video time. So I don't want to kind of go that. But let me show you on this one. I'm pretty sure this one has it. Yeah, right there's the water. I showed you that earlier. So this is the water in the game, and this is what this does. It creates the water in the game. It sets it up in an object, and you basically just call it by water. So that's an overview of what's going on, and I'll get into more stuff a little bit later and really go into the technical details. But thank you for watching.